Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up, but when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Black holes are where God divided by zero. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. You never fail until you stop trying. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up. But when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Black holes are where God divided by zero. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. You never fail until you stop trying. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. The greatest scientists are artists as well. Science can flourish only in an atmosphere of free speech. It occurred to me by intuition, and music was the driving force behind that intuition. My discovery was the result of musical perception. I would teach peace rather than war. I would inculcate love rather than hate. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. I cannot tell if I would have done any creative work of importance in music, but I do know that I get most joy in life out of my violin. My passion for social justice has often brought me into conflict with people, as has my aversion to any obligation and dependence I did not regard as absolutely necessary. One thing I have learned in a long life, that all our science measured against reality is primitive and childlike, and yet it is the most precious thing we have. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. You never fail until you stop trying. A ship is always safe at the shore, but that is not what it is built for. Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attraction. Education is not the learning of facts. It's rather the training of the mind to think. The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Information is not knowledge. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. I love to travel, but I hate to arrive. The moon does not simply disappear when we are not looking at it. Without deep reflection, one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. A happy man is too satisfied with the present to dwell too much on the future. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. All that is valuable in human society depends upon the opportunity for development accorded the individual. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong.
Truth is what stands the test of experience. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. There comes a time when the mind takes a higher plane of knowledge, but can never prove how it got there. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. I think and think for months and years. 99 times, the conclusion is false. The 100th time, I am right. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. Creativity is intelligence having fun. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle, require creative imagination and marks real advance in science. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. The only source of knowledge is experience. A question that sometimes drives me hazy. Am I or are the others crazy? The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning.